Let's take a couple of minutes and we'll walk through the initial and system setup on Pioneer's MVH-X380BT. So right now I'm on the AM/FM source. The first thing I want to do is turn the head unit off. So I'm going to press and hold the source button for a couple of seconds till the head unit switches off. And I still see the clock on the screen. That's fine. We can still see the clock. Now press in on the volume control and we'll see two different menus here. We have the initial menu and we have the system menu. We're going to start off with the initial menu and we'll press enter there. First thing we see here is our speaker and pre-out mode. So let's press enter to go into the speaker and pre-out mode setup. And right now we have rear and subwoofer showing up on the screen. This means that my rear speaker outputs are set to full range and the RCA output is set to subwoofer output. If I want to change that, I can roll over with the volume control and I can change the rear speaker output to subwoofer output and the RCA to subwoofer output. Roll over one more time and we have both the rear speakers and the one set of RCA outputs are set to full range output here. Full range output for the rear and the RCA output. For right now, I'm going to roll over to the next setting, which is full range for the rear speaker output and subwoofer for the RCA output. When you're done making those adjustments, press the go back button. We'll roll over to the next setting here, which is our software update. If there is an update available for the Bluetooth chipset on the head unit, you can do that software update here. You could insert a USB thumb drive with the software information on it and press enter here to start that update. We'll go back and roll over to the next setting, which is over to our system reset, and we can press enter here to go back to the factory settings. We'll go back and roll over to the next one, which is back around to the speaker and pre-out mode. We'll go back here. That takes us out to the initial settings, and we'll roll over to the next setting, which is the system setting menu, and press enter there. First thing we see here is USB auto on. And USB auto on means the USB plug here on the front. When I plug something in there, like a thumb drive or a phone, for example, the system can automatically switch to the USB source and begin to play a track. Now, if you don't want that to happen, you can switch it off right here. That means that you could plug in a phone or something like that, and it would charge a phone for you still, but it would not automatically switch to the source. You can still switch to the USB source if you want to, but it won't automatically switch for you. So we'll switch that back to USB auto on for right now. Roll over to our next setting, which is clock set. Here we can get into the clock setting menu, and for more information on setting the clock, check out the clock setting video. We'll go back. The next setting is our clock format, 12 or 24-hour format that we can change here. We'll roll over to the next setting, which is auxiliary on. Here's our auxiliary input, and if you use the auxiliary input on a regular basis, you're going to want to leave this setting as auxiliary on. That means when you press the source button here, auxiliary shows up in your source list along with AM/FM radio and Bluetooth audio. If you don't use the auxiliary input very often, you might want to switch that off so it doesn't show up in your source list. For right now, I like to use the auxiliary, so we'll leave that set on. We'll roll over to the next setting here, which is our Bluetooth audio. Just like the auxiliary setting, if you don't want Bluetooth audio to show up in your source list, you can switch it off. And now when you press the source button, Bluetooth audio isn't there. But I use Bluetooth audio all the time, so I definitely want to have Bluetooth audio on in my source list. We will roll over to the next setting, which is Bluetooth memory clear. You can connect any number of different devices to the MVH-X380BT. At some point, you may want to clear out some of those devices that have been connected to the head unit. And you can do that by pressing enter here. Press enter one more time when it says yes, and all of the memory from the Bluetooth connections will be erased. We'll go back and roll over to the next setting, which is our Bluetooth software version. If an update becomes available on the PioneerElectronics.com website, you could go there and download the Bluetooth update and install, put it on a USB thumb drive and put it in right here to do an update. This is how you check what version of the software you have. We'll go back and roll over to the next setting, which is our app connection settings. And this is for using an Android phone or an iPhone to operate things like Pandora and Pioneer's Arc app. So we'll press enter here, and we have a couple of different settings. We have the wired connection setting. So if you're going to use an Android phone to operate Pioneer's Arc app or Pandora, for example, you want to choose the wired connection. If you are using an Android phone to operate Pioneer's Arc app or Pandora, you will want to use the Bluetooth connection. So those are your two options there. We will set that up as the wired connection for right now, and we'll go back. We'll roll over to the next setting, which is our Android wired connection. You can choose to use Android as a wired configuration or as a Bluetooth connection. Under the Android wired connection, we have memory, which means we can play back music that is stored on your Android phone, or we have the app connection, app control connection. If you're going to use Pioneer's Arc app, the ARC app, Advanced Remote Control app, you want the app control setting here. And we'll go back, roll over to the next setting, which is prompt the app. Again, if you're using an Android phone and you want to use the Arc app, when you plug in your Android phone, if you have this switched on, it'll automatically start the Arc app and begin to play a track. You can choose to switch that off if you want to. Right now, to switch on, we can also turn it off. We'll leave that on for right now. We'll go back, roll over to the next setting, which is back around to USB auto on. When you're done making these settings, and at any time, you can press the go back button to escape, or you can just press the source button to go out to a source.